or hold up a hand or something like that. So my name's Gilbert Bennett. I am a graduate from Louisiana Tech University in Louisiana. That is probably, if you're in Dallas, that is probably 3.5 to 4 hours, depending on how quickly you drive, east of you in Ruston, Louisiana, about 5 minutes from Grambling, about 30 minutes from Monroe. What I studied in school was computer science and computer information systems. I realized that I do not like programming. Some people do. I thought it'd be a great field for me. I was a big video game kid. I played a whole lot of video games, mostly skip schoolwork to play video games. But I got a job in my field after. I worked for a little while for a company called P.R.O. We're a power company. We sold power on the power grid, electricity on the power grid, and we also provided electrical services to people's homes. And what I did for them was write programs and do kind of customer requirements for our distribution service. We had power plants, they put power out on power lines. Then they go to substations, which are little boxes behind fences you guys might see close to you. And from there, that power gets converted and delivered to people's houses and businesses. And I developed software and managed software that dealt with that. After that, I went and worked for Lockheed Martin and NASA. And I was a rocket scientist for a few years. I built the external fuel tank for the space shuttle, not personally, not individually, but with a group of, 2,500 other people down in New Orleans at Lockheed Martin's NASA's Michoud Assembly Facility. My wife made me move to Tampa. So young men, when you fall in love, be careful what you make promises for in the future, because you might get held to it. You might have to leave your favorite place in the world, which my favorite place is New Orleans. I live now in Tampa, Florida. And what I do in Tampa is I actually decided I didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5 when I moved out here. I'm a mortgage broker, and basically that is a sales job. What I do is convince people that I am the best option they have for financing to purchase homes. We help folks navigate issues with credit, navigate issues with the lending process. And we work, instead of being, say, a mortgage banker at Chase Bank or at Wells Fargo or something, as a broker, I work with about 40 different lenders to find my clients the best interest rate, the best loan pricing and loan terms when they want to buy a house. So we help people shop for a mortgage to find it with like an insurance broker or an investment broker. So if we help people shop to find the best plan for them in particular, instead of trying to fit them into a product box. As a mortgage broker, I've helped probably, since moving here, about 80 people to buy homes or refinance their home and save money on their mortgage. Right now, Tampa's a really hot market. People are moving to Tampa from all over the country, moving here from Denver, Colorado, a lot moving here from New York and New Jersey. There's a hockey team in Florida, which most people wouldn't expect because Florida's hot as all get out. But we have a lot of folks from up north who come down here and they like to do hockey. I have an office. I really go to my office. Mine is not a job that requires you to work in an office. My job is actually, as a salesperson, is I go out, I meet with realtors, I meet with financial planners, I meet with family attorneys, family law attorneys. I meet with individuals and talk to them about mortgages and how I can help them with what they need or help them accomplish their goals in terms of home ownership. I probably visit the office once a week, maybe less than that. The benefit is that I am flexible. When I want to go on vacation, I go. When I want to visit family, I go. If I have to go to my daughter's school for something, I go. I don't have to be accountable in terms of time and stuff to others. As a salesperson, I determine how much money I make based upon my effort and my sales ability of human, my sales ability, the ability to close loans and generate new clients. Um, I do drive a lot. What I do, I probably put 22,000 miles a year on my car. Some of you guys may, I guess at, what are you guys, 12, 14, you probably don't have cars yet. But I drive a good bit. It may not be a huge amount for folks who live in Texas because you guys drive everywhere. Texas is huge all over. But I drive most of the day. I might have 4 or 5 appointments in 4 or 5 different places. So I'll be going from one to another a lot of time. What's wonderful about my job is a lot of people have bad credit and they don't think they can buy a home, but with the right advice, most of the time we can put people into a home and find a located mortgage product for them or provide them the advice they need to be able to buy a home. So we move people from small apartments to their own home with a yard where they own it, they control it, they don't have neighbors who drive them crazy, banging on walls or jumping around upstairs. Stuff like that. It's pretty cool to get people into their first home. Probably 40% of my clients are first-time home buyers, and that's really great. Honestly, people get very excited when they get their first home. It's a fun place. It's a fun thing to be at their closing table when they get their keys. They're moving their kids and their family and maybe their pets into a new house that they own.
Okay, Gil, I'm gonna stop you for a minute, please. I know the students have some questions for you, and I know we're still having a little bit. Can you hear us okay?
I hear you right now. Yeah.
Okay. Some of them have some questions to get out. Is that okay with you? Questions?
Yeah.
All right.
If we have any issue hearing, you guys can. I have the chat open. You guys can type a question into the chat box too.
Okay, that's the plan then. So type the questions to him in the chat if we're having some audio issues. Go ahead, Jensen.
Hello. Oh, this is my connections unstable.
You're up there. Turn the lights on, please.
Hello? Is my camera not working?
We can hear you, yes. Go ahead.
I hear you.
I can't hear it. I can't.
The lights are on.
Okay. So I have a 2-part question. You said you live in Tampa. By any chance, are you a Rays fan?
A Rays fan?
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch a whole lot of baseball anymore. I probably stopped watching baseball in the late 90s when people like Nolan Ryan were pitching and Chipper Jones was still playing shortstop.
Oh, yeah, sure, the Braves.
But I've been to some Rays games. They actually are never full, so it's easy to get tickets.
So my 2-part question that also kind of involves baseball in a way. Have you helped any people, like any famous people or professional athletes, find a house or pay for it or and stuff?
Not out here, not yet. I know some professional athletes. I've met some since being out here, but I haven't helped them buy homes just yet. Maybe in the future.
All right, thank you.
I'll tell you what, though. I don't remember the Rays. There's a Yankees player. I walked to his house. He had a 14,000 square foot home built in a neighborhood called Avila. He had the entire back wall of his house was glass. The entire back wall. He built the house on 3 lots looking over a golf course. He had a swimming pool that was probably 20,000 gallons, and he had a grotto built in the back. Entire back wall glass One side of the house was like pool table with the ping pong table and dartboards and all that. You could literally go from inside to outside his house, no issue. He had a big screen too, it's like keep the mosquitoes out, but you could be inside, outside of his house and camp. Biggest house I've ever been in, 12,000 square feet. That classroom you're in is 25 by 25, so that might be 500 square feet. Think about a house that's 30 times the size of that classroom.
Must be nice.
Right.
Can I ask another question?
Who else? Madeline, you don't want to ask me a question? Jose, you look like you have a question.
I got a question. Can you see me?
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
What is your name?
Natasia.
Natasia?
Yep.
You sound like a Texas baby. How you doing, Natasia?
Good. How you doing?
I'm wonderful.
Hear me? Do you have anything else that you want to do besides that?
Besides mortgages? Yeah, actually, as much as I do like my job, what I really want to do is open a school. I want to open a school in the middle of the hood, with my own money and the money of some other friends and family, so that we can teach the way we want to teach, and help children, inspire children the way we want to, without some of the rigors and strictures of government funding. It'd be pretty cool to be able to do that and get these kids, or get a certain group of kids who don't often have the opportunity, a lot more exposure to different things, other than just sports, maybe arts, sciences. Have a lot of different opportunities for them to focus on what they want to focus on when they're young, or explore what they want to explore. So I want to open schools. I also want to open restaurants. I like to cook. I cook well, and I'd like to open various restaurants, barbecue house, smokehouse, little French food bistro, all that kind of stuff. But yep, that's what I like to do. Who inspired me to choose my job? Who asked that? That was from you too, huh? All right. What made me want to do my job? Who inspired me to do better? So I've been a real estate investor probably since right out of college, or soon as I could save up enough money to buy my first house out of college. I bought a 4-unit building using an FHA loan, and I was able to that building into my payments to qualify. It allowed me to buy an investment property, and the cool thing about using the loan I did and buying the house I did is that for the entire time I've owned that house, other people have paid the mortgage, and I'm the one building the equity. And how have other people paid the mortgage? Because they pay rent. I bought a house with 4 units in it. I lived in one of them, and I had 3 other people living there and paying me money every month. And what they paid me was more than what the mortgage cost me. So, cool deal. So being in real estate, when I moved to Tampa, at first I was going to do some school consulting and work with schools on operations, how to save money, running things like food service, transportation, janitorial services facilities. But it was hard to get connected with new people in new town. I wound up going to an event put on by a business alliance between France and America, and I met a mortgage broker there, and he said, "Hey, Gilbert, you have a personality that would probably do well in this business." And his name was Sam Wax. And once I met Sam, I said, "You know what? That sounds like a good plan." I wasn't a realtor candidate because I really didn't have a clue about real estate in the area and didn't really care to learn all that much about the real estate in the area. But I am a pretty quick learner in terms of financial products and really lessons in art and all that. So Sam Wax inspired me to shift over to mortgages, and it's a pretty good business. So there's a couple questions Ms. Jones sent me. You have a question, sir? You are not coming through. Would you like to type your question for me? Oh, now you are. Not here.
Did you pay for college?
I'm sorry?
Did you pay for college?
So I went to school in Louisiana. I had a top scholarship for some of it. I'm still paying on some student loans from when I lost one of my scholarships because I had a lot of fun in college. I didn't always do my work or show up at class. I spent the last 2 years I was there trying to improve my grades from my first 2 years of excess fun. I'll tell you this though, I was just talking with a friend of mine. Her daughter just graduated or is graduating 2 weeks from University of Florida. She's a Florida Gator. Horrible school. Don't go there. LSU is a much better school. But her daughter received a job offer making as much money as her mom is making. Her mom's been working for 30 odd years because she was a honor student, right? She received a job offer in December and they're paying her a signing bonus just to start. And she doesn't actually start the job until June. So doing well in school really does help put you in a position to be financially independent early. I paid for school my last year and a half there. I took out a couple student loans, and I've been out of school 14 years now, and I'm still paying them student loans back. So if you have the opportunity to obtain scholarships because of doing the hard work while you're in high school, you should go ahead and focus on that schoolwork while you're in high school and get school for free. Get somebody else to pay for it, right? What's the most challenging thing? So one of the most challenging things about my job is it relies on people to do what they said they're going to do and tell the truth. And people are not always honest, and they don't always do what they're supposed to do. We need a full financial picture from someone, where you've worked, what your credit looks like, have you paid your taxes to the IRS as you need to, and all that. And sometimes people don't tell you the truth about whether they pay those taxes on time or what their salary is. And when you get their paperwork, it can mess up a loan process for you. It also relies a lot on outside entities. The value of the house has to be determined before you can close on it. So a little bit odd there. A lot of my school, not too much of what I studied in school relates to my job, right? I would say probably some of the finance classes from college, but really my job is about interpersonal skills. And in terms of, Jose, one of the favorite parts of my job is really, I am a people person. Ms. Jones will tell you that I do actually like to talk to people and be around people. And so because my job is really so social, because what I do is really a social enterprise and I have a great time doing it, I get to talk to a whole bunch of folks on a regular basis. And I really enjoy that about what I do. It provides me the opportunity to talk to a whole lot of folks. Right? And so if you're social, if you're talkative, if you like making friends, this is a good career option for you. What do I do in my free time? I won't say I have a whole lot of that. I do spend a lot of my time working, but I have 2 kids. One is 8, one is almost 2, and a wife, and they are pretty much my free time. So if we're not, what I do is I still socialize. I throw barbecues and parties. We eat dinner together as a family with my brother-in-law and some other folks and friends out here on a regular every weekend. So I live in Florida. I'm very close. I'm probably within an hour of 5 different beaches, one of the top beaches in the country. So, Tampa in terms of location is a great location. You never have to really worry about being cold. You can always go to the beach. People go to the beach year round. And there's other things to do here too. I'm an hour and 15 minutes from Disney. I don't particularly like Disney, but it's real close if I did. I'm close to Busch Gardens. I do like Busch Gardens. They have an all-you-can-eat meal plan that's like $32 for adults. You can get like 5 of those big old turkey legs in a day. You can also eat ribs and chicken, and they actually smoke the meat real good. They do great there. Plus, you can have all the like cake, desserts, fruits you want while you're there, and bottled water for free all day. Well, not for free. You pay $32, but it's a really good deal. It's a really good deal. So how many hours a week, do I work? I would say probably about 70 to 80 hours a week. But I am still trying to build a business. So once I'm more established and maybe have hired some people to work for me, a few more people to work for me, I will work a lot less. Some more questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My question is what is the most exciting or craziest thing that's happened with your job or while you were working?
What's the most exciting thing? I don't know. So I always have fun at closings. I bring champagne. We pop bottles. We throw a party at the closing table. I bring wine for the realtors and stuff like that. And people are moving in the home. So sometimes people are really, really excited, especially when it's their first home. Other times people are just moving up. It's not all that exciting. Sometimes people are moving from cold places like New York or Denver, Colorado, and they're very excited to be in their first home in Florida. The closing table where people get their keys and sign their papers and they sign their mortgage documents and all that. That's where we have the most fun. A mortgage broker class is like 20 hours. The class is 20 hours for the federal license, and each state might have additional requirements. Texas actually has 2 different licensing bodies. So there's depending on what area, and if you're North Texas, there's some different, I think, than if you're down by Austin or Houston or something like that. So Texas has some state requirements as well. I'm not licensed in Texas right now. I might be later on. I have some friends out there, but 20 hours, and then you take a couple tests. The tests are about 150, 120 classes.
I heard Florida was a good place to retire. Would you agree with that?
Florida has a large retirement community. It's probably better weather. You won't have to worry about slipping on ice if you're old and in Florida. And you can hang out at the beach, and there's a whole bunch of other old people in Florida. Florida probably has the largest per capita percentage of people over 60 in the state of the union. So yeah, Florida's pretty good on retirement. No income tax, so they don't bill your retirement. They don't charge you in retirement stuff. Did I play sports in high school? Played football, played soccer, ran track, played baseball in 9th grade. I didn't really like to coach, so I didn't play that no more. But so I'll give you an idea about earning power. So as a mortgage broker, year one, first year, don't really know anything, didn't really know anybody, made about $60,000. As a mortgage broker, year 2, having made some relationships with realtors and stuff, made about $190,000. The average person in the coaching program, and the coaching program is basically where you get somebody who's really good at what you do to show you how to ropes. The average person in the coaching program I joined this year is making about $700,000 a year. So you can make a lot of money being a mortgage broker. Most sales jobs are really based on your effort. In this sales job, depending on what market you're in and really your ability to close business and make relationships, has a very high earnings potential. And it's flexible. Some of the people in my coaching program that are making that $700,000 are working 35 hours a week and still making great money just because they know how to develop relationships and develop teams. So you have the ability in my business to control what you make. And it really allows you flexibility to go take the vacations you want, do the things you want with your family. More questions?
Well, Gilbert, I'm on Fantasia's Chromebook right now because I got kicked out of my Wi-Fi on my Chromebook also. But we only have maybe about 4 more minutes where they'll actually record on this particular platform. And I'm sure as I do the playback for my other classes, they'll have a lot more questions. So I'll just email you if that's okay with you.
Yeah, email me, or if they want to ask them live, they can shoot me a text message. I can maybe do that.
Okay. Well, y'all go ahead and take your mics off mute so we can tell Mr. Gilbert thank you for giving his time.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
Say thank you. Disrespectful, girl.
All right.